you nailed humility, not knowing what you know and then learning, and you nailed vision. So if you could talk just real briefly about one of those two things and how you are constantly revisioning or continuing that down that path of trying to be humble, as successful as you are, pick one of those two things to talk about.
I think there's enough people who speak on vision, but I would love to hear more people speak on humility. So I'll be the change I want to see in the world. I'll talk about humility. I think that from the standpoint of founders, especially when they touch success, I remember seeing six figures for the first time. This is the first time it's ever happened in my life, and I'm processing all these emotions. But I understand because my cornerstone is solid. I understand my why. I'm not going to deal with this six figures and squander it. I'm going to look at it from the standpoint of two things. How can this money make more money? And how can I use this money to help people? So generally speaking, there are a lot of ways where, and I heard this concept before, I'm not sure who coined it, of conscious capitalism, where a person can make money and it not be in the sense of greed so that they can help people. So being conscious of there are people all over the world who are not able to even have a computer, have fast Wi-Fi, have AirPods, have a home that they can live in without fear of it being swept away with a mudstorm or a monsoon or something like that. So being mindful of all of the problems and understanding that us as founders, we have this innate energy within us or ability within us where it's like, I have to do something. I have to build something. I have to create something. And generally speaking, that can be aimed at fixing problems. People who fix problems in this world get very wealthy if they can fix them for a lot of people. But once that happens, something within people tends to change. Your environments change. What you have access to change. Maybe instead of flying commercial, you're flying private. Maybe you have a six-figure car, which could cost what someone may have paid for their home. And then people begin to forget how far removed they are, that it creates pride within them, not knowing that we're all one car accident away from needing to be on disability for the rest of our lives, not knowing that bullets don't have names. And my environment has taught me that, as far as being able to speak with people one day and then the next day they're literally gone. So being aware of my mortality, but also being aware of, if I'm alive, that means that there's still hope for me to build, not only for my family, but also to create things for the world. And that is a very daunting thing that I keep at the forefront of my mind, but it also, it charges me to make sure that I'm doing things in excellence, and that is beyond me. It's beyond my lifetime. So having something, circling back to the why, your why has to be bigger than you so that it keeps you humble. My why is infinitely bigger than me. So there's no way that I could ever speak from the tune of pride. It literally, I'll just get sat down. So I have to stay humble in order for everything to work properly. And the most humble of us generally become extremely successful. We're just not in the forefront like some other founders. We like to be behind the scenes, just supporting, not doing it for fanfare, but doing it because it's right. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, that's great, Christopher. That reminds me, as you were talking about how many people don't actually ask the founder, the successful founder, about how or why they started their business. And when somebody told me that one time, and then I went and did that, and I asked 10 founders and entrepreneurs, and nobody had ever asked them that before, I was floored, right? And all of them gave me these great answers. I mean, I could have probably written a book just on that. Maybe that's another podcast.